Hello, class. Welcome back, sort of. We can't meet in person anymore, but I can still record these videos for you and provide you with your course material. This first week back for my film studies courses, which is 14A, 14C, and 15, if you're any of those classes, you're going to be getting this video, and this is going to be walking you through the process of doing the group projects, which may or may not be group projects anymore. It's going to be what it is, but the material is going to be the same, and the lesson I teach you is going to be the same either way. So each one of those classes has a page that has the same material on it. So I'm going to go to one of those at random. I'm going to go to the 14A class, and I'm going to show you where that's located. So it's the group project info forms and samples page, and if I click on that, that will take me to where we have the material that we need for this. Okay, I'm just going to go down the list and let you folks know what's in here. So there's the group project info for this, the group project form. Look those over. The group project form you may not need, especially if you decide to do this as an individual project, which is perfectly fine by me, especially considering the whole social distancing thing. And then also there's how to format a screenplay, which is a document I'm going to be covering a little bit of here, but I'd like you folks to kind of read through. Also, the drop box for this project, there's going to be one located in here as well where you can drop your finished product. Also, some sample scripts for you to look at. I'm going to take a look at one or two of them here so you can see how those things look. Also, some sample videos to watch as well. They'll give you an example of what some of the videos we've done for this class, and then how not to make a horror film is what not to make. It's pretty terrible. It's supposed to be terrible. So first I'm going to begin with talking about how to write a script, because I have a feeling a lot of you are probably going to be wanting to do scripts, whether those are group scripts or individual ones, partly because it's going to be kind of hard to shoot a video if you're supposed to stay away from people, and if you want to have actors or you want to have people in it, that's kind of difficult. I'm not saying you can't do it, but I have a feeling most of you might lean towards scripts, and that's perfectly fine. Okay. Now, the first thing to know about a script, I'm just going to pull one of these up to show you what one looks like, is a script doesn't look like any other type of writing. Okay, it's different from your standard prose. It doesn't look like a play. It looks like what it looks like. So here's one that's called The Mysterious Object, written a few years ago. And first of all, you'll notice that there is a lot of space in between the writing. So there's space here, a lot of space in with the dialogue. And this is the way it needs to look, okay? This is written the correct way, and I'm going to show you folks how you write a script that looks like this, okay? Let me get out of here. And so on this particular document, this is another older document, but I've been using it for my classes for a number of years. It's called How to Format a Screenplay. It's from a defunct website called Script Frenzy. Okay, and what it does, fortunately, is it goes through the basics, which I call it, and I also call the Big Four. And these are four things that if you were to do these correctly, you'd basically be doing a script correctly. Okay, so the first thing is what they call a slug line. And a slug line looks like this. It's basically telling you where and when you are. So int dot bank vault night, which means interior bank vault night, or you could have another one, ext football stadium late afternoon. This means exterior football stadium late afternoon. Both of these are correct, slightly different, but this tells you exactly where you are in a scene before the scene starts. You don't want to get that much more detailed than this, because if you do, you start putting a lot of description into your slug line or scene heading that you don't need, and that ends up being a bit of a problem. You want to keep those things separate, and I'll show you how to do that. So that's a slug line. That's the first thing. Slug lines are always in all caps. There's going to be a sublocation occasionally, only if you absolutely have to. So here's an example: interior Donald's Mansion dash billiards room dash night. The reason why you have Donald's Mansion and billiards room is because of the fact that in this particular script, they probably are going to have other things happening in Donald's Mansion, and they want to separate the billiards room from, say, the kitchen or the bedroom or something like that. But in most cases, you're going to say interior, Donald's house, night. And if you then go to something outside of it, then exterior, sidewalk, night. You don't necessarily need that extra heading there. Okay. After you do the slug line or the scene heading, you then are going to need to have some action or description letting you know what's happening in this place and what it looks like. So in this particular case, they put interior Donald's mansion, billiards room, night. Beatrice picks her way through the ransacked room. Cue sticks, books, papers, everything has been searched. She stoops to pick up a photo of a young boy. So here is what is happening in this location. We have the scene heading, then we have some description and action. If you don't have that and you just immediately have people start talking, then without any description of what that looks like, the reader's going to be a little bit confused. They're like, okay, is this room a formless, shapeless void? Is it all black walls? Why don't we see anything here? So you want to make sure you provide something before characters actually start having a discussion. So we've got those two. Next, we have the dialogue, which consists of a character name first. So it always appears above the dialogue and tells us which character is speaking. Looks like this. So it's in all caps. Okay. Then you cut to the dialogue underneath it. So in this case, it says, Marty, don't tell me you believe in leprechauns, son. Never believe in anything you can't hit with a BB. So Marty, that's the name heading right there. And that's in all caps. And then you have the dialogue, which appears under that. It needs to look just like this. Okay. The other thing too is if Marty does something, instead of saying something, you don't write his action underneath his name in the same way you would write dialogue. You write that action over in the description area. You have them do the things in the description and you have them say the things in the dialogue. So if you put all those things together, it's going to look like this. Interior fire station, night. The fire truck pulls in, lights flash silently, an air of defeat hangs over the men. Chief Patterson, I can't believe we forgot the hose. So notice where that scene heading is located. It's in all caps. Then you have the action and description underneath that. That gives us a little bit more of an idea of where we are, what's happening. It's all the doing and all the scene stuff there. And then we have the character's name, and then we have what they say. You do these things right here, and you pretty much have got a complete script. Okay. Read through this entire document. It'll help you understand some more things that go along with it. But those are mainly the big four. Now, if we go back and we look at one of these sample scripts, we'll look at Michaela in the Multiverse, for example. If you cruise down here we have our slug line or scene heading, exterior University of Delaware day. Michaela, a petite yet muscular young woman with aggressively bobbed hair, feels a tremor in the earth and drops her particle physics book on the sidewalk. She sighs, Michaela, I need a drink. She stomps off in the direction of the campus bar. So this is you doing the big four. You've seen heading, description, character name, and then the dialogue right there. Now notice that her name is in all caps right here. That's because when a character is introduced, you put their name in all caps. You only put it in all caps in the description when you introduce them. Once you see the character's name again, right here, Michaela approaches the bar. It's not in all caps anymore because we've already introduced her. And that's the whole point of having it in all caps the first time. You introduce a character, people know, oh, this is a new character. It's in all caps, okay? And this script, if you look at it, pretty much follows all those same rules we looked at in the how to format a screenplay document, okay? Now, some other things I have provided in here for you, I want you folks to take a look at in case you need it, okay? There's a script template, and this will allow you to write directly into a Word doc if you want. You could also probably paste this into Google Docs if you want, although it might screw up some of your formatting. So this does all those same things. It's very vague and allows you to change it up the way you want it to be. Same thing, character one, you'd put a name right there. And then when I say expletive, all caps, that means the character's yelling or cursing or something like that. You change that to whatever you want to. So you could just write over this document if you wanted to and turn that into your script. Another option you have is to use Google Docs. And if you plan on doing this as a group project, this would probably be an easier way to do it because you can collaborate with Google Docs. Okay. So this is a link to the Screenplay Formatter add-on link. and it will take you to this, which is the Screenplay formatter. You can add that. I already have it installed, okay, and I put it in Google Docs. Here's one I already started writing in Google Docs, and I started writing a script right here, and you have the Screenplay formatter dialog over here. If you're going to start from scratch, what you do after you've already added on, you go to your add-ons, you go to Screenplay formatter, launch. That will pop it up right there. And then the first thing you'd want to do is click on header, which is the same thing as a Slugline. And I'll put interior bar day. And I don't have to put in all caps. It's going to do it for me. So there we go. We have that first one. Then you hit return, give it a space, and then you're going to want to write some action. And there we have a little bit of description. And it's maybe a little close to home, but that's just how it is right now. I'm going to have some dialogue here. So the first thing you need is a speaker's name. And I'm going to call this drunk person, Drunk Bob. And then after you do that, you're going to want to add your dialogue. Click on that heading right there. And then if we want to go back to action again, click on here, it'll automatically format it. Oops. I'm introducing Drunk Dave here. There we go. So that pretty much gives us a nice little beginning of a scene right there using the Screenplay formatter. It's pretty easy to use. It can be a little slow sometimes. Once you get started, it's not too bad. So anyway, that's an option right there. And if you want to do it as a group project, you could use a Google Doc, finish it up there, and then you can turn it back in to the Dropbox in here, in the group project Dropbox if you want. Well, all you have to do is have one person in the group turn it in, and then everybody gets the same grade. Okay, one more thing I'm going to add to this too that you can't see right now aside from this video, which is going to be located in this folder, as I will have a group project discussion, and this can allow you folks to talk about these projects and possibly figure out who you want to have in your group or who wants to do a group project. I've used this in other classes before and it has worked. You don't have to do a group project. You can have this be an individual project as well. Just do a short video or do a short script, whatever works for you, okay? All of it's good as long as you get that in by the deadline, which on here is April 8th. This is when it's going to be due. So after spring break is over. Not that spring break means the same thing that it did before, but is what it is, okay? Now, the one thing I didn't talk about very much was how to make a video. Watch some of the samples. You see what we've gotten before, what I tend to expect, what my expectations would be. And the one thing I do want to tell you folks is that if you decide that you're going to shoot on your phone, which most of you will because I can't get you out any equipment, remember that when you talk on the phone, you hold it like this. But when you shoot a movie, you hold it like this, okay? This will give you the proper aspect ratio for shooting a movie, okay? Oops, whatever, I dropped it. Anyway, that's all I've got for you this week. I'm going to create another folder underneath this one for the week after that, and we're going to jump back into our normal lessons and topics for the class. But good luck on these. If you have any questions, shoot me emails through either my regular email or through the Canvas email system, okay? I'm there for you. Whatever you need, I will answer your questions. All right, thank you.